is essential to our everyday lives. For a reader's comprehension to grow, they must work on fluency. Fluency is comprised of 4 aspects: speed, accuracy, expression, and volume.
This lesson is for a 5th grade reading class at John Hancock Elementary School. All of the students in the classroom have some type of disability or have an IEP, and that is why our host teacher usually has both an assistant and an interpreter in the classroom at all times. The students are categorized into 3 sections based on their reading levels: the Flyers, Phillies, and Eagles. We will be working with a small group of 8 Flyers students who are currently struggling with fluency in their reading. Students are homogeneously grouped for instruction in math and literacy. This is the most effective way to perfect our mastery of content and own our pedagogical skills while capitalizing on the resources of special education and support staff to meet the needs of the struggling learners. This mini-lesson is designed to help the 8 struggling Flyers students conceptualize and demonstrate fluency. These students have prior knowledge of fluency, but their skills and readiness level is lower than the rest of the class. This mini-lesson is geared towards assessing and building the fundamental knowledge of the importance of fluency. In this mini-lesson, students will be able to work together and fairly offer comments and advice to one another. The way the classroom is set up in groups reflects how they enjoy the experiences with group work.
Objectives. Students will be able to improve their reading fluency of the literacy text, identify keywords that pertain to the main idea of a reading, demonstrate reading fluency by making no more than 4 grammatical mistakes when orally reading 100 to 130 words, and improve how many words per minute they can read. As per PA teaching standards, students will be able to read with sufficient accuracy and fluency to support comprehension, read on level text with purpose and understanding, use context to confirm or self-correct word recognition and understanding, reread as necessary, and use knowledge of phonics and the dictionary or context clues to decode and understand new words during reading.
We haven't had any prior sessions with these students. Our host teacher informed us the 6 students we will be working with are struggling with reading fluency. We believe, like Vygotsky, that social interaction is a fundamental role in development of cognition. Our approach to this lesson, using the Temple teaching standards, is to create activities that are engaging and filled with group discussions. From a mixture of one-on-one and group share, the students will begin to strengthen their fluency foundation. These activities were designed to ensure the teacher that the students have an understanding of the fluency and why it is important to be a good reader. Deep content understanding. The students will realize why fluency is such an essential part to reading. That reading fluency is the ability to read quickly, accurately, and with expression. Coherence and continuity. This lesson plan was designed so that each activity seamlessly flows into the next, while the succeeding activity not only builds off the previous, it also reinforces the main ideas. Also, this lesson leads into our host teacher's next lesson topic on reading comprehension. Active learning. Students will be improving their reading speed, accuracy, and emotion through open discussions, open writing, and group work. Critical and creative thinking. Students are given multiple opportunities to utilize their creative and critical thinking skills through open write, individual article review, open discussion, and peer review activities. Teachers' reflective thinking. We took into consideration the students' readiness levels and anticipated their misconceptions. After the lesson was finished, we discussed on what worked, what the students liked, what the students understood, and did our lesson have a positive impact. Real-world connections. Students will read an article on air pollution and its links to asthma in children from ages 9 to 16.
This lesson has 3 scaffolding activities. To begin, we ask the students to answer the question, "What is fluency?" in their journals. We give them 2 minutes to free write, and then we come together and have a class discussion that will double as an introduction lecture on the definition and elements of fluency. For the second activity, the teacher works with 2 to 3 students. One student reads the assigned quick reads activity aloud, and the teacher uses the rubric to assess their fluency. During that one-on-one session, the other students in the group are asked to read a similar article and document in their journals one question they had about the article, something they liked and disliked about the article, and words they had trouble pronouncing or were unfamiliar with. After all students have had their one-on-one quick reads fluency assessment, we come together as a class and talk about what they documented in their journals, emphasizing elements of fluency. For example, being able to question things while reading assists in reading comprehension. For the third activity, we break back into our paired groups and let the students play the role of the teacher. They take turns reading the same quick reads article to one another while assessing each other's fluency using the rubric. Teachers overlook these students' assessments and complete their own rubric for a second time. Comparing the original teacher-led quick reads assessment to the second student-led quick reads assessment will provide a valid measurement of the students' fluency growth. We asked students to provide each other with feedback. They took turns explaining the grades that they gave each other on their rubrics. They displayed deep content understanding and critical thinking from this activity.
This lesson was geared towards a group of students who work very well together. This is why most of the activities incorporate group or paired work. The students have many opportunities to ask questions and help each other. This lesson easily accommodates students with special needs. For instance, one student in the group had hyperactive tendencies, and we accommodated him by providing extra time, more instruction, and repeated vocabulary. With hearing loss are assisted by interpreters.
This lesson went extremely well. Timing was great, students behaved, and we finished the entire lesson right on time. We did not get to the last part of the lesson, which is just an extra activity in case we had extra time at the end anyway. This lesson was different from our first lesson in that we had a small group rather than an entire class. Originally, we were to have 6 students in this group, but rather we had 8. This changed the way we broke students into groups, but luckily it did not impact the amount of one-on-one time we had with the students. The students did have some prior knowledge on fluency, and we gave them prompting questions to respond to. This led into an open discussion in which the students hit every point we wanted them to. We were a little bit hesitant on the students grading each other. It surpassed our expectations. With proper guidance and instruction, students took this part very seriously and gave each other insightful, constructive criticism. We were surprised how critical the students were. Even though they used the rubrics as a guide, through listening to them critique each other's fluency, it was obviously they had a much deeper understanding of what fluency is. Overall, this was an effective plan for a small group. If we tried to do this with a class, it would be manageable, but we would have to make sure all students remained engaged. It would also be more difficult to gain accurate grading because we wouldn't be able to monitor first readings with second readings as well. Our host teacher loved this lesson and even took our rubric for grading and said she will use it in the future.